All right, now, welcome, everyone. I'm gonna do some, just kind of unorthodox for myself. I'm gonna start a new series, just getting comfortable talking about certain topics that people really don't want to talk about. How that wordplay when they say you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So we just gonna talk on, and I want to talk and speak on the subject of trigger play. You know, it might be y'all. Some of y'all think when I say trigger play that I'm talking about guns or any type of weapon or something like that. To a certain extent, I am. Just not the physical weapon that you hold within your hand. So while I'm discussing trigger play, I want you to think along the lines of the emotional triggers that people are dealing with each and every day. It's something that people really don't think about. People always say people kill people, guns don't kill people. And that's a true statement. It's a very true statement because the emotional trigger has to be fired before the actual gun trigger is fired. So looking at that, let's look into that topic a little bit further. If you want to look into something about the Bible, you need to you look at the situation when they say you need to be slow to anger, and that small scripture right there has so much weight, and it's something that I had to deal with growing up, something that I still deal with now. Just learning to control my anger. A lot of people, man, you move so slow. I ask you a question and you respond so slow. Well, it has a lot to do with me controlling my emotional trigger. So I talked to a Sunday school class on Sunday about this very topic, and man, it's amazing how much or how many people deal with this little issue right here, just for the simple fact that it's hidden. It's hidden from the world. The only person that knows your emotional triggers are yourself. But once somebody finds out or figures out what triggers that response from you, and you think you're gonna be able to handle it, man, once they find out what gets up under your skin, they're gonna use it to their advantage. Especially if it's someone that's has reached a level of pettiness and they just don't like you just because. It's really beyond personal. Then it's just, hey, I'm gonna mess with this person just because I can mess with them. So when you run into a situation like that, man, being able to control that trigger. So I talked to him about we're gonna use the setup of a gun, and I know some guns don't have this feature, but we're just gonna imagine that all guns do. So when you're looking at gun play or trigger play, the most important feature that's involved in that is the safety. And so in order for you to be able to control your trigger, you got to figure out what's your safety, how to control your safety. Is your safety always on? So a lot of times when people ask me stuff, that's my way of showing that my safety is on. So I don't just respond with the first thing that comes to my mind, because regardless of my position or my place in society, whatever, regardless of that, I'm not perfect. And a lot of y'all know me, and a lot of y'all know that I go through things on a daily that, man, that it small things can trigger. The way my kids respond to a question that I ask can trigger a response. But the way that I respond to them is that I take a second and I make sure that safety is all the way on, so that they don't catch something that has really nothing to do with them. I could be affected by something that happened to me 2 hours ago, and my kid triggered that response, and I don't want them to catch something that has absolutely nothing to do with them. So this is gonna be my almost like a little small mini series, but we're just gonna work on and talk about trigger play. How do you truly control? How do you really master that scripture of being slow to anger, man? So what did I have to do to get to the point to where I am right now? And I'm telling you guys, I'm not where I really want to be with it. for the simple fact that this world is full of tests. They're gonna find something that really gets under your skin, gets on and works that nerve. People always say, "Man, you getting on my last nerve, this and that, blase, blase." Well, it's true. Somebody's gonna always figure out a way, to test you. And that's all you're going through. People, man, I'm going through so much right now. And we always so quick to call on, call this friend, call that friend. Reach out to this buddy, man, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And whether we want to admit it or not, the best friend we got available, period. The only one that can really give us the best advice is Jesus. If a lot of folks, man, well, what has Jesus done to me? And what? And so instead of me being mad when somebody, what has he done for you? Instead of you getting mad, you just ask him, and you do this simple, little small little exercise with him. Y'all, you watch this exercise. You do this exercise. You say, take a deep breath, and you go, and you let it out. And once they realize, man, God just granted them another breath, they can see, hey, man, he's done a miracle right then. He allowed you to take another breath, allowed you just that second to be alive, man. And that's a blessing in itself. So looking and moving forward to the whole trigger play topic, man, you just got to understand something that, first of all, the first step is recognizing what your trigger is. You have to get in tune with yourself. You got to understand what really causes you to lose your cool, what causes you to break character. If you want to go so far as to say that you don't feel like you're in your own character when you get mad. So you need to figure out what exactly about this person or this situation caused you to break character. What made you so mad in that moment? So once you realize exactly what made you so mad in that moment, and now you start praying, right? You pray to God that he fixes whatever is bothering you or what caused you to trigger this. And then you pray for that person. A lot of times we leave and we forget that, man, the Bible says that we should love our enemies. So we don't pray for that person. We just leave them over there mad. Well, guess what? They probably gonna stay mad. You never know what they're dealing with. So instead of you being angry with a man, pray for him. So you're doing two things right now. You're praying for yourself. You're praying for the situation and your enemy. So regardless of what's going on, man, you're praying for the entire situation and everything that's involved. And if you're able to do this with sincerity and forgive that person and move forward, man, walking in faith like that, those things become easier and easier for you to get over. It's something that, like I say, man, I've been dealing with for the last 35 years. It started in, I'll say, junior high. Might even been before then. Just growing up, it's something that always was a problem for me. And so here I am, almost 36, and just being able to finally admit that openly. I've said it to family now. I never really said it out in the world. It's a reason why I don't socially just go out there. I'm not that outgoing person. You're not going to catch me walking up just to everybody talking. Just for those reasons, I understand myself. I am very aware of who I am. So it's a lot of scenes that you won't catch me in, club scenes, party scenes. And was I there? Yeah. I used to be there. When I was in college, in the fraternity, man, I used to go. But even then, if you were in school with me, you would always catch me kind of standing near the wall for two reasons. Excuse me. One of the main reasons, I can't dance. But another reason is it just really wasn't my scene. I went and I was being social, and I enjoyed being there because my friends were there. Now, have I been to any lately? No, I took my wife out a couple times, but that's about it. And just understanding how to avoid situations where something might trigger a response from you. Some people might trigger a response from you. So if you want to go as far as monitoring your friends, monitoring your circle, you should definitely do that, because you shouldn't be in a circle where you have someone that's trying their best to constantly pick at your nerve. That person definitely does not have your best interest at heart. You know, they might even be as far as be jealous of you about something. Right? They want to see you fail. So, man, you need to be cautious of the circle that you run with, the friends that you have, the associates. If you don't call them friends, the associates that you have. You just have to make sure that everything that's going on with you is aligned with what you want in life. And that way, like I said, you start with prayer, and praying not only for you, praying for those that's within your circle, not within your circle. Just pray for everyone. It's a whole lot of things that can go along to this topic. I'm just basically want to do a brief introduction into kind of what I'm gonna be geared toward talking about over the next couple of days. I'm just gonna do some small videos. I might go live one day, I don't know. Like I said, this is something for me that I'm doing out of the norm, and I just want to kind of just reach out and see how many people are really dealing with this issue before I move forward with the topic. Not so much that I have to have an audience with it, but I just want to make sure, because the person that I'm really talking to, I'm talking to myself. I just made a video basically talking to myself, but I know I'm not the only person dealing with the issue. So, man, when you looking at it again, this series is just gonna be up based off trigger play. You know, small issues that can cause big consequences. Basically, you know, you look at probably 50-60% of the people that's in prison right now. Something over a small issue, you know, 5 seconds of anger loss, you know, cause somebody to be locked up for the rest of their life. You know, I've just been thinking about this real heavy, and it's a topic that I'm working with my son on. Also, you know, he has my anger, and so just trying to get him to understand just how to deal with it has been difficult, just for the simple fact that I've still been dealing with it. But I think the Lord has allowed me to see a different way, a way to approach the topic, especially with him and myself. So I think he's just going to allow both of us to grow, you know, throughout this whole topic, man. And like I said, you know, if you're dealing with something like this and you want to talk about it, man, you can reach out to me. I don't mind that. This is me just being open mostly about myself, and I really don't care if you judge me about it or not, man. I'm to a place where God has really done the work in me, and He's doing work through me. So if somebody's out there dealing with some stuff like this, and you trying to understand your trigger, or you want to figure out how to work and control your trigger, man, let's talk about it. Let's work through this issue together. And that way, you know, if you still relying on yourself to do it, then you don't have the strength. You know, you're not strong enough. You know, your strength, and I'm gonna say this: your strength comes from the Lord. So you must rely on Him to help get through this. Don't think you can do it by yourself. Don't. I don't want you to feel like, man, I can do this by myself. I don't need nobody help. Yes, if you might not need my help, but you most definitely needs the Lord's help, man. That's the only way that I feel like you really can make it, using the Lord, letting God work through you, man. Because once somebody sees the strength of the Lord in you, it might help them out. It might help them in their situation. You never know. You got to allow God to work through you, because that miracle that He's working through you might not just be for you. It might be for somebody else. And we just have to understand that as a people, that the miracles God does every day, the small, the big, the miraculous miracles that he do every single day. It's not just for the person that it happens to. It's for somebody else to see the light, man. You gotta understand that you have a light shining in you. So when you walk in the room, man, let God shine through you. Allow people to see it. When you walk in, allow people to see the God just shining through you, man. But like I said, we'll continue to talk about this topic. I'm gonna put this up, and man, y'all can private message me or whatever you want to do. Let's just grow together. Whatever we got to do to grow in God, man, let's just do it. Let's fix our personal issues so that we can, when we do go into the house of the Lord, we don't have these things that's heavy on our heart that we worried about, how such and such made us mad Saturday night or Friday night. You know what I'm saying? We can go into the house of the Lord and you're supposed to enter the gates with what? Thanksgiving. You're supposed to be in there praising. You ain't supposed to be in there worried about what little Toot said over there on one night. You know what I'm saying? Just we gotta be working toward a goal, and as we continue talking about this topic, the goal that we're gonna be working toward, we'll get there. But I just wanted to kind of do a little quick introduction on the topic. Again, my name is Ken Tops, Minister Ken Tops. So, we'll be moving forward with this whole process. And man, if you made it to this point, thank you for watching. If you want to talk about it, just hit me up, private message, email, whatever you want to do. Just reach out to me. But until then, guys, you have a blessed day, blessed night, and praise God.